Salaam Nerds here, and we want to talk to you guys about the floods in Pakistan that have damaged almost 1 million homes and wiped out entire villages. The flooding in Pakistan is due to climate change. The melting glaciers and torrential rain have caused the death tolls to be in the thousands, with more than 33 million people displaced. 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. This is more than a national emergency, this is a humanitarian catastrophe. This is because the CO2 emissions produced by countries like the UK, the US, Russia, and France. Pakistan does not have the infrastructure to withstand this devastation. Even though Pakistan is one of the lowest producers of GHG at 1%, it is one of the top 5 worst affected by climate change. We here at Salaam Nerds are sending direct links to you guys to Islamic beliefs so you can donate. Please donate generously.
Yo, Salaam Nerd. It's your boy Neebz, aka Watch with Neebz, and I'm here with my co-host Jazz, aka Jazz the Stallion.
Jazz the Stallion. Oh, I appreciate that, man.
You like
Not
that, right?
only is it because it's Megan the Stallion, who's amazing. She's actually from Houston. So
Is she?
Yeah, so this is just great. I'm just like, oh yes. More of our culture on full display. I love it.
She's one of the homies now, man. She's the homie.
We're trying to get her on here, actually. I really wanted to try and get her on here one day.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I will literally twerk on screen if that happens.
We both will, right? Like,
yeah. I think we will get canceled if that's going to be the case, because it would not be fun to watch.
Oh god.
Not us. But we will get to twerking later. First, we need to get to our guest. You saw her on our episode where we talked about The Bachelor, and we got her on to join us for She-Hulk because she is an actual, lawyer. So we'll see. Emma, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again. This puts together all of my interests, reality TV and Marvel. So
awesome. So are you like a lawyer or are you like a baby lawyer? Because the last person on our show was a baby lawyer, which I didn't know that's a thing. A baby lawyer.
Yeah. So I would be a baby lawyer. I don't practice right now, and I only practice for a short time. So I don't know if that's like a step below baby lawyer, but I am licensed and I went to law school and I passed the bar. So I have the knowledge in there and some skills. So
that would put you above baby lawyer at that point, because you could just dive back in whenever you wanted.
You're like a toddler lawyer.
That's true. Yeah, there we go. We'll go with toddler. I mean, technically, I've been licensed for 2 years, so yeah, that would.
Yeah, if you give us CMEs, you should be good to go. So
yeah, exactly.
Or
it's
CLEs,
cool.
I guess.
Yeah, CLEs. That's fine.
I really love that we have brought in so many lawyers on our show, because me and Jazz are definitely going to get into a lawsuit sooner or later. Like, and it's not gonna be like Marvel or anybody who's like, hey, you're copyright infringement. It's gonna be somebody from The Bachelor who's pissed off.
Guaranteed.
How dare you slander us?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm guessing most of our listeners know by now, because we are on season 2, episode 19, but we do both Bachelor episodes and we do Marvel and nerd culture. So sometimes worlds collide, and this is one of those times, because Emma is into Bachelor and she's into Marvel and she's into nerd culture. So she is our unicorn, and we are so happy to have her.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here. Have all my Venn diagram.
We can feel your enthusiasm.
Yeah. I promise I'm awake right now.
For those who don't know, it is 11:40 Eastern time and 10:40 Central time right now. We're tired, but this is like also the time we can do this, because we all have day jobs.
I got the coffee. You know, it's good. It's working out.
Yeah, 11:30 is probably the latest we can do it, because if we do it any later, it goes from Salaam Nerds to Haram Nerds, and you don't want to be here for that. You don't want to be here for Salaam Nerds After Dark. It's not a good
That might have to be our Patreon exclusive at that point, where we just like go fully unfiltered and talk every bit of shit we could talk.
Oh man, yeah. What we'll do is we'll talk shit about all our friends, and like we'll, because we had such an amazing time this week, because we were in Chicago and all our friends were in Chicago, and honestly, I did not know so many of our friends are silent supporters. Like one of my friends, Arthur, was like, "I listen to you on Alexa all the time," and I'm like, "Holy shit, man! I didn't even know we were on Alexa." And like, I love that our fans are also our friends, and they also support us. And Skeeb was another one who's like, "Yeah, I listen to every episode." I'm like, "What, you do?" So I was actually really touched that a lot of our friends actually listened to us, and it was really heartwarming and surprising.
Tell him about that random
love
fan
that.
you met, like who knew everything
Oh,
about you.
Yo,
God.
okay, so we were in a hotel lobby, and like some guy was telling another guy, like, "Hey, that guy is like, oh my god, I love that guy. I'm like such a big fan." And
Oh my God.
the guy was like, "Dude, just go up and talk to him, because like obviously I'm just a jabroni, like I'm nobody famous." And like this guy, shout out to Saber Ali, I think his name is Faraz, and he was like so excited to meet me, and it was like really, I don't know, I was really touched. He was really really excited to meet me. And I've never met anyone who was that excited to meet me, but I was really touched, and it was really awesome. And I'm gonna try to get him on the show because he was so excited to talk about Marvel. He loved the stuff. He said he's been following me since I was on Clubhouse, which like I burned my Clubhouse account. I don't even have that anymore.
I forgot about Clubhouse. Wow.
Early
Yeah.
last year or like late
Yeah.
2020. Oh
That
god.
unlocked a memory. Wow.
Yeah, man. So shout out to him, man. It was good, man.
We'll do an ISNA episode. Shout out everybody who was there, because I know a lot of people like really talked about us. So don't worry, y'all. We're gonna have a fan appreciation episode coming out probably later this weekend.
Yeah, we would definitely will. All right, but let's get into some She-Hulk appreciation.
Yes.
And it was a great episode, and like people were like, "Hey, this episode is gonna break the internet." Well, kind of did. It kind of did.
Kind of did.
I when I watched that scene, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the twerk that broke old twerks.
The twerk that was heard around the world.
TwerkGate, right? TwerkGate. When I watched that, I was like, "Oh, no big deal. Who cares?" I don't think the big hype. And then like I went online, and like people lost their freaking mind about this, and I was like, "Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are you serious? That is insane." Emma, tell us.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I loved the scene. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Jen Walters and Megan Thee Stallion twerking. I mean, I just thought it was so entertaining and just fun. And I honestly I can't say I'm surprised that a lot of mostly men are just like, oh, like this is ruining Marvel. There's a lot of stuff that was like, Tony Stark died for this. I'm like, have you seen Iron Man where he's literally dancing? Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy where he has a dance off? I'm like, this isn't anything new. So I love the scene. I'm a very big supporter of the twerk.
The mental gymnastics some of these men have to do, it's so wild to me. Like Iron Man literally had stripper poles in his plane and made stewardess dance for him, right? Man made a RAPE joke in Avengers freaking Age of Ultron. Like, come on, guys. Like, I mean, She-Hulk is the one that you're mad about. She-Hulk is the problem you guys have. It's so weird. I have, and they were like, she wants to be taken seriously, and here she is twerking in her office, and I'm like, listen, that's not how it works. She wants to be taken seriously for her work. She doesn't want to be taken seriously because of the way she dresses. She doesn't want to take it seriously because of like, you know, that she's like stuck up. She wants to be taken seriously for her ability to do her job, and entertaining your client, making your client like you is part of the job, bro. I know. I've been to client meetings. I have eaten steak when I really want a salad because I want to make the client happy. I don't want them to make them feel uncomfortable. That's how it is. Yeah, thoughts.
So I'd like to point out one very important detail here. The twerk happened in a post-credit scene.
Yes.
Right? This is technically not even canon. Who the hell cares? Like,
exactly.
Of all the crap Marvel has done in post-credit scenes, right?
You have Howard the Duck. Don't say it's not canon, man. How could a twerk not be canon?
The twerk is canon. I need it to be canon.
That needs to be canon. My heart would break.
Yeah, me too.
I actually want to know which animator worked or CGI VFX artist worked on that. I'm just like, you son of a bitch. You have the luckiest job in the world right now.
Imagine the supervising editor coming like, there's not enough jiggle. We need more jiggle.
He's just sitting there like, so you have to like stand in this way. Like that's dream job, honestly, for everyone.
We have to go do more research. Let's go to the club right now.
Run this again. Like, let's do this a couple more times.
You think they went to a strip club for research? I
don't know about strip club, but they could have gone to any club for research. And you could have gone to a day club, and all the VFX artists are like, let's go.
Can we put these little dots on you, ma'am?
Let me just see how this.
They motion capture that.
And she's like, "Why? You just have a booty that won't quit, and we need to digitally capture that."
I
We gotta
promise it's actually
archive it
for
forever.
research.
Oh man, I love it. And like honestly, the more butthurt these like sexist misogynist guys are, the more I love it. The more I love
Oh
it.
yeah,
Me too.
like
It fuels my like it's like let the hate flow through me. Like I'm very much the spite keeps me going. I'm like, oh, I love this so much. I love it even more when the misogynist dude bros hate it. It's just
But
great.
it's funny. It's funny how they want to be champions of feminists only when it's against women. Like, isn't that
Exactly.
weird? Isn't that weird? Isn't that
wait,
suspicious?
they claim feminism?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
they
she should.
should,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're saying it's not appropriate. Women want to be, not objectified. So why are they doing that? And that's like that's not how objectification works, right? The way it works,
Exactly.
it's like if they do something for themselves, that's them doing them basically for themselves. If a man is making them do it, then they're being objectified for a male gaze. That's the
Yep.
way it works, right? So like women can go to a club and party with anyone they want to. That's fine, but like you can't make them do it. That's the way it works. That's how objectification works.
Absolutely.
They claim feminism?
Yeah, they try to be like, oh, like women are like they don't want to be taken seriously. And it's like they'll be the same ones to sexualize women just by existing. And then they do this and they're just like, oh, no, we can't have this. And it's like it just it doesn't make sense to me. Like it's the point is like it's what on her terms. It's on what she wants to do. If she
Facts,
wants to sit
facts.
and twerk, then so be it. Like that's the thing. It's like it's all about like women like us having control over what we want to do. If she wants to be sexual, go ahead. That's the whole point. As long as it's on her terms.
Listen, Emma, maybe you can back me up here, but like I know how it is for my industry in corporate America. I'm
Yeah.
sure it is for lawyers. You
Oh, yeah.
do what you need to do to make the client happy, right? If the
Yeah.
client's like, "Hey, let's break it down in the office," you break it down in the office, right? As long as
Yeah,
you're okay with that,
yeah.
as long as it doesn't personally, go against what your belief is or what you want to do, and they
Yep.
want you to do it. No senior person is going to be like, "Hey, don't do that," when the client wants you to do that, right?
Yeah.
No one's gonna say, "Don't take your client to play golf." No one says that, right?
Right.
I don't understand.
It's very much yeah, as long as yeah, you're working for I mean, you're not working for the client necessarily depending on what type of law it is, but you're representing them and you want to do everything that makes them feel comfortable with you. And as long as it's not skirting the ethics rules, then there's a lot of room to play there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer
And
Walters did get those signatures on the dotted line.
She
So
did.
yep,
Absolutely.
yep. And I've seen that happen on Suits, right? Like Louis
Yeah.
Litt had to do all these things for his client, and like he got them. Nobody had a problem with that. I wonder why. I wonder what's the big difference
Yeah.
here.
Wonder
Hmm.
what the
she's
common
green.
thread.
It's a straight up
Yeah, it's
racism.
because she's yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about the homie Wong, because Wong, they had to go around looking for Wong. Homie's got no email address. He's got no phone number. He just
He's
like
harder to find than I am on social media.
that is so funny. Apparently, the way they found him is he had a LinkedIn, and his LinkedIn said he worked at Target for like 7 years, which I thought was hilarious. But the way, oh man, the way they found him is pretty funny. They sent him a thirst trap with books. I'm gonna see if I can look up this thirst trap with books. But Jazz, tell us what you think about Wong's cameo.
What's the actor's full name? Like the actual name?
Benedict Wong. I didn't know
Yeah,
his
yeah.
his name is Wong also.
His name is actually
Yeah.
Wong,
So
yeah.
he's cashing it in, man. Good for him. Like, I am so happy for this guy. Like, bro, you can make cameos in anything. It's like, oh, okay, Sorcerer Supreme, cool. Like, he's probably like banking off of this, and I'm very happy to see that. I'm happy to see that they tied this back in to what was it, Shang-Chi, where they were in the dome fighting. I'm like, oh, that's how that happened. That's a cool little way to connect that. Cool. I respect that.
I
And
thought that
then
was really cool too.
he came through. He like straight up came through during the lawyer scenes. He's like, yo, let me just tell him what happened. Like
At the very last second. Like, I thought that was pretty funny.
Very appropriate for Sorcerer Supreme. Because
yeah.
they don't wait for anybody.
Absolutely. I'm here for the Wong cinematic universe, honestly. Like he is everywhere.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yes,
The
it
Wong
is the WCU. Yep.
The WCU. All right.
He is inevitable. Thanos, not inevitable. Wong, inevitable.
So accurate. I'm like, what do you think of the scene?
I thought it was hilarious, honestly, and I felt like I felt Jen's like anxiety when she was like, "Where is my star witness that I literally need to, get this guy on parole?" Like, it was just like she's like, come on, hurry up," and he just appeared, and I'm like, "Okay, good." He came through, and then he testified, and then he just dipped out, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious the way that they were like, "Oh, that's interesting, actually." Like, this might be a crime, and he's just like, "Yeah, I gotta go, bye," and he just leaves. And that's what I would advise. I mean, that was a smart move, honestly, on his part, so I was here for it. I thought it was great, and I love Wong. He's just awesome. And
what were they gonna do? Like, oh yeah, like Wong, you helped this guy escape prison.
Yeah.
Like, what were they gonna do to him? Like,
right,
like, who
it's
could
he's
hold?
the Sorcerer Supreme. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the thirst trap. This is the thirst trap.
I love it. I'm here
I'm-
for it.
Like, yeah, I'm about this.
That's my kind of thirst trap, honestly.
Are you using Edge?
No, I'm using Firefox for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
Edge? God,
Yeah, but this is the picture, guys.
that is quite the thirst trap.
I love the fact that they
fair
actually. I love the fact that they actually shared it online. They're like, by the way, it's not just a throwaway line. Here's a thirst trap. Go.
Yes. I was like,
That
good.
was
The marketing for this show has been just absolutely amazing. I'm loving
fire.
every second of it.
Fire. And I love the fact when like Wong was done after the testimony. They're like, by the way, you committed a bunch of crimes. He's like, deuces.
He's like, I'm out. Like, I must depart. I'm like, that is iconic. Like,
that
he's
is
just.
iconic.
I mean, that's what I would do if I had a portal. I would just be like, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not staying
He's
here
like-
for this.
I'm Sorcerer Supreme, bitches. You can't touch me.
Exactly. I was like thinking, I'm like, could this have been a custodial interrogation? I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, it was smart to not say anything, to just leave. Like, just get out.
I have so many questions about this, like thirst trap now, like this picture.
Chaz,
Like-
are you still on that?
He's like,
I
I'm
literally am, because not because for the reason y'all think. All right, I'm looking at the actual books here. All right,
yeah.
The
I wanna see
Highly
what the books
Sensitive
are.
Person by Elaine Aron, PhD.
Mhm.
The Cult of Trump by Stephen Husson. Margaret Atwood's, The Handmaid's Tale. Best
Yeah.
American Writing 2020. Salvador Dali, right? Like, this is some really cool shit. Like,
That's really interesting.
how do they pick these books?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's what the actress really liked. Maybe she just did it for fun.
Like,
That's
are these her books? Like,
Yeah, possibly.
this is cool. Like,
Yeah, I'm wondering what the
I respect everything
reasoning-
here. Like, I
Yeah.
have some of these books here, so like,
It-
cool.
it's pretty dope. I really enjoy that. The other
Yeah.
thing I want to talk about, let's get into it, is the fourth wall breaking, right? And which is, it's always been fun. They do it twice here. Once she's in the car and she's like, by the way, guys, remember wwhose shows this is, right? She's
I
like,
was like,
it's
yes.
not all about the cameo, except for Bruce and Wong and like and Blonsky. Like,
The three men, right? It's not
Yeah,
about-
exactly.
and we know Daredevil's coming too, so
Yeah.
it was kind of like a little
Four
slide
men.
to the,
and Daredevil.
it's like a slide to like all the people that are waiting for Daredevil because they know that's coming. So I kind of like that little shade. But my favorite part was when they were talking about the other story about the guy with the changing Asgardian, and they were like, "Oh, connecting story A to story B." I was like, "Yo, that was so
I was like,
meta."
yes. I love it so much. I'm
It
so
was-
here for the wall breaking. It was perfect.
It's so funny. Chad, what do you think?
I'm starting to believe your theory that whenever she breaks the fourth wall, she's talking to us, but we are the alternate personality inside
Yep.
her. The way
Yeah.
the Hulk and Banner have two personalities, right? We didn't
Yeah.
see Jennifer's second personality. It's just
Yep.
Jennifer the entire time, right?
Yep.
We're the other personality, and you know what? I believe it now that the way it's happening. Like,
Yeah,
She-Hulk is learning, I guess. The She-Hulk personality, not Jennifer Walters' personality. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Yep.
learning, and then they might end up being best friends, which will be really cool.
And I thought it
Fair.
was so interesting. I think what kind of also plays into that is that I noticed the first episode when she did the first wall break, she kind of was like, "Oh, that was interesting," and then like Bruce noticed it, but like no one else. Now I'm like checking to see like no one else has noticed when she breaks the fourth wall, like any like normal person. So I'm just like,
Very true.
that's interesting. I don't know. To me, it just seems like that there's something there. So
It's a
Yeah.
conversation in her mind with herself.
Yeah. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
I
cool.
buy
This
it.
is interesting.
I buy
Yeah.
it.
I like that. The other thing I want to talk about is the haters because they did a little thing where they showed all the TikToks and all the tweets. And like, Jazz, the most amazing thing about this is that they used real tweets because someone pointed out the tweets that were used when the show first was announced, and they showed the tweets that were used on the show almost identical. Like, it was such a good call out. What do you think, Emma?
I thought that was amazing. I was just like, oh, like it just is beautiful, honestly. I like cackled and was just like, oh my God, this is so accurate, first of all. And it just brings it back around to like it's like imagine being made fun of by your like you like sit here and like hate watch this stuff and like they're making fun of you. Like you are not like it's
You're not
just
the
it's like
target
so
audience.
yeah, you
You're
are
on the
not the
menu.
target audience. You are being like totally roasted here and it's wonderful because
That's
you know
so
they
true.
deserve it. They deserve it. Like
Listen,
I'm just
imagine the show that or the imagine the franchise that you love openly mocking you. Can't be me. Can't be me. Y'all stay safe though. That won't be
yeah,
me.
exactly. Could never be like just I mean, it's so embarrassed for them. Like they gotta like just yeah, it's really it's chef's kiss, honestly. It's hilarious. We love to see it.
we definitely love to see it. Jazz, what do you think about the whole?
So, I hate to admit it, but technically, I am one of the people they're making fun of.
Why? Oh,
Remember?
because yes, the one kid, right?
So it was like a few episodes ago on here,
Oh,
and I was like, I'm very excited to see Matt Murdock again.
Mm.
And lo and behold, they're like, ah, fuck you, Jazz. The show She-Hulk.
see, they made fun of me too because they showed this little black kid and he was like he was Smash, and I'm like,
You got called out too.
That was pretty funny, actually. I was like, okay, yeah, you're kind of calling a lot of people out there. Like, I feel that.
I mean, listen, man, there was an awakening when I saw her take off her shoes. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Not the feet.
We're going
Not
back
the
to
feet.
that.
Oh God. Oh
So-
my God.
There was an awakening.
Yeah, there was an awakening. I don't know about the feet, but there was definitely an awakening in general.
Oh man,
We are
But I-
woke.
Yeah, I am awake.
Oh man,
Can't stop.
I love this show so much. But it's also the silliness of this show, right? Like the whole storyline about like there was this Asgardian that could change shape, and then they made this guy spend thousands of dollars on him by pretending to be Megan the Stallion. Like
That was
who thinks of that? That's so funny.
so funny. I absolutely loved that, and I loved how that's how like Megan Thee Stallion's cameo worked out. Like it was just so perfect. He was just like, oh, like I really thought this was Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm like, dude, like you, I don't know. It was just so funny, and that whole trial was absolutely hilarious. Like
Yeah.
I just loved it.
Okay, I have a law question for you.
Yes.
And this is bugging me. But if that Asgardian, let's say they got intimate with that guy as Megan the Stallion, would that be considered sexual assault, or because it's not informed consent, right? That person did not consent to doing it with someone who is not Megan the Stallion. Would that be some kind of like, would it be criminal? Is that criminal activity?
That's a really good question, actually. It kind of brings back, I don't know if you guys watch The Boys, but it made me think of one of those scenes with the shapeshifter person tricking the guy into thinking he was someone else.
Oh yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details of that scene because it was, I mean, The Boys is something else, but
It's The Boys.
yeah. But honestly, like that's a really interesting question because I think it really comes down to that state's particular laws because every sexual assault law in the criminal code is slightly worded slightly differently when it comes to elements of consent, and then there's sometimes a force element, there sometimes isn't. So the question of consent would be the element that they would be trying to prove. And I can see where that would be an argument potentially. I always think that there's potential for arguments, whether the jury would believe it or whether the judge would believe it is a different story. But I could see it being an argument.
Yeah, it's kind of like Zenov said, right? There's good facts and bad facts, and all they have to do is who's going to present the better fact. Jazz, what do you think?
I mean, I would tend to think that that would be assault there. Like, that's straight up false premise. You're straight up lying. Like, that's not who you said you were. I can see that being an issue.
But then, like, where's the line? What if someone's pretending to be rich and they're not really rich? Does that qualify? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, why is this dumb show making me think of these things? I don't know.
It's like just going down the weeds of you could really like go down a rabbit hole of like
all the hard questions.
I'm like, oh, I didn't study this in law school, but it's a really interesting question. No, I didn't.
You did not study what happens if a shapeshifter changes? No,
I can't say that I did, honestly.
I feel like Jazz is thinking really hard. He's like really like into it.
No, my gears really are turning. Like,
I can see the gears. Like,
Jazz, like, I need the answer.
Yeah, it's like I need an answer. I'd have to. Like,
I don't need the answer, but I'm just curious now. Like, how would a court interpret that? You know what? I'm asking one of my judge friends. Like, tell us.
Oh yeah, it would be interesting to see what a fact finder, like somebody that would actually have to decide. Because as a lawyer, like you kind of put forth the arguments, and you're like, okay, let's see. As long as it's not a completely false argument, as long as you're not lying to the court, if there's some sort of evidence in your favor, like you put forth the argument, you see what happens. So I would be really curious to see what like a judge would think.
Fair.
Yeah, I have helped a few judges get elected. They owe me favors. Maybe we can get them on here.
Jack, I don't think you want to waste a favor on this, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would exactly want to waste a favor on.
Look at me using favors to get into Jive Wolf concerts, and Jazz is like wasting it in like to find out the stupid thing in a freaking show.
This is important, sir. Okay, we need answers. We'll be the first podcast with the correct answer on this. Okay.
There you go.
Oh man. All right. Let's move on to the Wrecking Crew. We saw the Wrecking Crew in this episode, which was a little bit of a letdown, but I'm like, you know what? It doesn't really matter. They're not really big parts of the story, but we do know that they're working for somebody and they want Jennifer's blood, which is very, very interesting. Who do you guys think it is?
I've heard theories that it's the leader. I don't know too much about that in the comics, so I'm just like, yeah, seems reasonable to me. I also wouldn't rule out Kingpin since he's working in the shadows. I know he's got some stuff going on. I wouldn't rule out Val because I feel like Titania is going to end up on the Thunderbolts, and I think she's putting together, like, Val is putting together the Thunderbolts. So I wouldn't be totally surprised if that's who it is. Maybe, like, someone's working with her to get this done. So, yeah, that's what I think.
Interesting. What about you, Jazz?
Who was the one at the end of Incredible Hulk who had, like, blood poured on him?
Oh, yeah, I think that
is the leader.
That's the leader. That's right.
That's the leader? Okay, yeah, I have not read She-Hulk, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
But if that's the leader, then yes, I believe it's him. Just because, like, I don't think his transformation was completed. Now he wants to either go all the way or maybe find some cure for whatever half-assed transformation he's going through.
Yeah.
That is one of the most annoying loose ends of, like, phase 1 through 3 of the MCU. Like, Incredible Hulk has always been, like, the stepchild of the MCU.
Yeah, it's like you're there, but we don't really pay attention to you.
Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, they could always bring back General Ross, just because feel like he might have some, like, bad blood about this whole situation.
Yeah. Well, here are some of my theories. One theory I think is that maybe this takes place before Hawkeye, and that Kingpin gets the blood, and that's what made him super strong, and also how he survives the gunshot, that he has some Hulk blood in him, because he was not that freakishly strong in Daredevil. And if it's the same Daredevil, same continuity, he should not be able to rip a door off his hinges, right? But if he has some Hulk blood in him, that's possible. So that's one of my theories. The other theory is that maybe it's General Ross, and we finally get Red Hulk, which would be cool. So those are my two theories. What do you think, Jazz?
What if it's what's her face? Agents of Shield. Sorry, the granddaughter of Peggy Carter.
Oh, Sharon? No, that's not the granddaughter.
Sharon Carter?
Yeah,
Denise?
you know how at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, she became the arms dealer, the power broker?
Yeah.
What if she's behind this?
Ooh, I can see that.
Because she was always after the Captain America Super Soldier Serum, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then the Hulk project was to recreate that Super Soldier Serum, right?
Fair, right?
This is this, connect the dots kind of thing.
I see it. I definitely see it. Because we haven't seen them in a while. Like, we haven't seen Val in a while. We haven't seen Sharon. And I've always kind of thought they might be working together, because I know Yelena's supposed to be part of the Thunderbolts. So I think, like, someone's working in the shadows here. Either it's maybe Kingpin, maybe it's Sharon. Like, I definitely see along those lines.
Oh, could it be
there's something going on.
Shang-Chi's sister?
Oh, yeah, maybe she's working with
leader of the Ten Rings.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Very, very interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to tune in next week, or actually not even next week.
It's gonna be coming out like 3 hours.
Oh yeah,
I guess we'll have to tune in in 3 hours.
In 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you guys for being on the show. And we do apologize to our fans for being late. We were out partying and, we were trying to relive our youth a little bit and have a little fun. But we will have all our shows up to date by this week. We're going to be doing some crazy content. And, feel free to join us.
Wait, one more. Ironheart, the Hood.
Oh.
Because Ironheart is in the MCU's timeline for things coming out in the future.
Ooh, okay. And Wakanda Forever is coming out soon, and she's going to be in it. Okay.
Lots of stuff going on, man. So there's a lot of theories. We'll see what happens, man. Watch none of them be right. So we'll just
right. Exactly. We're all wrong.
We're just all completely wrong.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. Emma, one last time, how can people find you in all your confusing places?
So I wrote it out this time. My Twitter, you can find me at Twitter at _Eminem, EMMINEM. Instagram at books_and_lattes. I can't even formulate it in my head. Then you can find my podcast at Ticket to Reality on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We hope to have you back. This was so much fun. You were amazing, and we can't wait to do this again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And before you guys go, remember in our link, we do have links for the relief effort of Pakistan. Please donate generously. Pakistan still needs your help. And we would really appreciate if you guys would do that for us. That's all I have. Jazz, anything else?
I'm good, my guy. I mean, this was a good episode. Please donate generously. And we'll see y'all probably tomorrow night, because we really need to catch up on all these episodes we're behind on.
Yeah, man. We'll see you guys soon. And until then, guys, Salaam, nerds.
Peace.